What's up YouTube, it's your boy Tits here, and I'm going to go over the survival event that we are playing for this weekend. I'm not going to go into detail with how it all works because you should already know, how the auctions work and everything. You should already know this by playing it. I just kind of want to share some gameplay and give some good tips to help you out if you're either having trouble getting the 20-minute mark to get all your rewards, or maybe just some tips to help you out, to do a longer run, good warframes, good strategies, stuff like that. By the way, we actually were just goofing around, and before we did serious runs, I mainly just leveled, because you can level so fast because enemies just keep spawning, and you get a ton, I mean a ton of mods, like 80 mods and like a 30-40 minute run or something. It's just crazy, and a ton of fusion cores. So you guys are going to want to play as much as possible next 5 days to stock up. I've only put a few hours in, and I've got a few hundred fusion cores. So you guys are really going to want to do this, because it's really hard to be getting them fusion cores and stuff, especially if you're new. So on to the event. If you last for 5 minutes, you get the badge. 10 minutes, you get the new mod Equilibrium. 20 minutes, you get the new Strun Wrath. Now, real quick, the best way to go about making your 20-minute mark and just lasting as long as you can is in the beginning, kill as quick as possible and as many enemies as possible. This is easiest done with like Ember, World on Fire on Infested, Nova all around. You know why that obviously works. And the enemies just keep respawning, and all your green oxygens will be everywhere. Do not just keep using them. Only use them if you have to. Try to stack as many as you can, because then when you get to the point where there's less enemies and your oxygen's going to get lower and lower and you start to have to use them, you're going to have a ton of them stacked. So at the point where you have the most enemies, that's when you want to take advantage, kill as many as possible, and just stack the greens. And then 20-30 some minutes in, you have a lot less enemies, and you're basically gonna have to eventually start. You won't be able to get the greens fast enough. The enemies will be more scarce. You'll have to start using the blues. So the tip here is just hold out as long as possible, also to use the blues, because the blues also stack. Now, just with those tips there, you can easily get the 20 minutes, whatever Warframe you're using. But now, to make it easier and to last longer, go with, let's see, on Infested, it's going to be easiest if you are using like a, let me see if I remember, Ember, Nova, and Volban. Works really well on Infested. Nova and Ember, great for the beginning. Ulti and World on Fire, Molecular Prime, stacking a ton of green. Ember is, good for Infested up until a point. Same with the Molecular Prime up until a point. But that's how all ultis are. But that's a really good team. And also, another tip, 3 Warframes seems to be the best setup instead of 4. That's what all the top scoring people have been using, 3 Warframes instead of 4. Now, moving on to Corpus. 2 Nixes and a Vauban, maybe 3 Nixes, but we used 2 Nixes and a Vauban. This worked really well. One, because eventually you need crowd control. It's not about just ulting and killing the enemies. They're going to be way too high level, and it's going to be about surviving a lot at this point. And crowd control with Chaos is great, and high level Corpus, Chaos is awesome. Because they're so high level, they're going to be shooting each other and doing a lot of the damage for you. And of course, they're crowd control, which helps you out a lot to be doing your weapon strategies. And the Vauban just helps out obviously with the Bastille and with his Vortex. So now jumping into the weapon strategies, for the Acrid, works well for Corpus and Despair. Tord works really well for, Corpus and the Acrid works really well for Corpus and Infested. The Tord works really well for Corpus and Infested. But the Acrid, I think, is best for Infested. Tord is best for Infested. And the Ogress will work best on the Corpus, and the Despair will work best on Corpus over like the Acrid. And the best strategy we were trying to go with, which worked really, really well. I mean, we went 2 hours with Infested in an hour, you know, with Corpus, and that was just goofing around. We didn't even have the Ogress or Despair. We had like level 10 weapons with no mods, and we still did really well. But with your Vauban, basically, you're going to be popping the vortexes, and you're just going to be shooting the Ogress into the vortexes, and you will drop level 300 enemies in a snap of your fingers. Back when the Ogress came out, Vortex Test Clan, please ignore, they went to wave 100 right away with the Vortex Ogre strategy. It works really well. And on Infested, the Ancients start to get really tough, but the Tord, just mod it out, form it out a few times, works really well with the Vortex. So you can perfect these strategies if you want to try to go, you know, a really long. I'm not going to get into super great detail how to go the longest. It would just take too long for a video. But with these strategies I gave you, you can easily do the 20 minutes. I just wanted to kind of give you a general sense of what you should do to, you know, be able to easily make the 20 minutes and to be able to go as long as you can, you know, if you're trying to get on the leaderboards. And if you got more questions, message me and I'll try to help you out, because it'll be just too much to put in a video. Alright, please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.